The internet space is going quite wild. Very interesting. It's been an uproar about who? No other person than Steph Curry. He's a husband, he's a father and brother to so many, especially his colleagues in the NBA league. He's a basketballer, a professional. He has exposed himself in a negative light to where opinions are flying left and to the right, up and down. However, this is the fourth dimension, and I'll be providing insights, perspectives, and nuance. Today, what I'll be doing is to play a lot of clips around this topic so we can sort of have an all-round conversation around this.
4 kids. Did you always knew you wanted a big family?
No. So I didn't want kids. I didn't want to get married. I thought I was going to be career girl and that's it. And I had my eyes set on my goals. And I was never the little girl that like dreamt about the wedding dress and all of that. And then it happened so early in my life. So it's like, it's one of those things like you don't know what you actually don't know what you want. I in the beginning hated it so much. I like did not sign up for that. I'm
getting a mixed feeling. In the beginning, I hated it. I mean, that's natural. Sometimes you get into things without being ready, but saying that you hated a marriage is something that would never make sense to me. A marriage that you willfully went into is something you're telling us out of the blue that you hated. It's interesting, but I want to hear her say more.
Always thought like, I didn't know that he was going to end up playing basketball. Like he said he wanted to be a high school basketball coach. Like I thought I was going to be like the girl out there getting it. So I didn't know. And so it just like, it was weird. And sports fans are so different than like maybe entertainment world fans. And oftentimes it's like very ruthless. And so I think I wasn't expecting that either. Like one time right after my first was born, she was whiny. So I was like, let me just nurse her in the back seat. And Stefan was putting a bike or something in the trunk. And this woman like opens the car door and she sticks her head in and she's like, I just wanted to see the baby. And I'm like, oh, excuse me. And she looks me dead in my face and goes, oh, honey, you know what you signed up for. And then like shuts the door on me. And I was just crying because I was like postpartum. I was just bawling my eyes out. And I'm like, what?
It's quite interesting how far we've come and how marriages work in America, where apparently we're supposed to follow. The rest of the world should follow us. Oh, it's the big country. However, if this is the trend and we are seeing this play out in 2025, what is the motivation for anybody to be responsible, like be a responsible adult? I don't see any, at least from my end, you know, because on the one hand, she's saying all these things. I didn't want to be a wife. It was scary in the beginning. I didn't want to be this responsible human being, but somehow this famous basketballer chose to wife him up. Like, it's crazy.
Aisha Curry is what happens when a generation of 21-year-olds tell themselves that they're ready to be wives and they're ready to find the love of their lives and settle down instead of being hoes. Every single time we have a conversation about her or about what she said in your interview, the tone that people take is very judgmental. Everyone's very disgusted in her. She's the bottom of the barrel. They can't believe that she would be so ungrateful and so miserable. And she is like, oh, Steph Curry deserves so much better than her. At the core of what she is expressing is a girl who got with a guy very, very young in life before she had any like real life experiences and then married him. Now they've been married X amount of years, I don't know, 10, 12 years, I'm not sure, right? And they have 4 kids together and he is extremely famous and she is his wife. That is what her entire life is. And now she is reaching 40 and it's starting to click in her head that, oh my God, I only have one life to live. And now it seems like because of the choices.
You're right about something there. But the point is, she married him as an adult. Marriage is not something that requires an eligibility criteria that it's for 40-year-olds, right? A marriage between them, both of them are expected to grow in respect, in love, in affection, in whatever it is they've chosen to marry for. But what we're getting now is she's telling us that she didn't want to marry him. The idea of marriage to her was him being a basketball coach and then she gets to get it out there. That was her dream. Remember, that's what she told us. So if she's coming today to say these things, it's not because she just woke up. No, there's something underlying that she's not saying. And that is my goal in this reaction video. I want to find out what is the cause of this level of disrespect to a global audience. They've been married for 12 years. So this is not her first time appearing on camera. Why now?
I've made, my entire life will only be defined by this person. I will only ever be his wife and the mother of his children. And it's very interesting for Aisha Curry to speak out about it because for the past, like, I don't know, it was like 8 years or so, she's been building a career and a brand for herself, right? Like, she had cookbooks, she had her own talk show, she had like a food show, right? Like, she's been building a brand all for herself and a name for herself, making a career for herself. And her still expressing the sentiment of feeling unsatisfied is because it seems like no matter what she does, all she ever will be is his wife and the mother of his children.
And what is wrong with that? Because I'm getting that being a wife and mother is not a worthy goal to aim for, at least from you. Not that it's what you're saying, sis. I'm talking about what you're saying about her. Being a wife and a mother is not a worthy goal to aim for. What else is there? Being a career person, she has that. So she's got a career, she's a wife, she's a mother. What else is left? It's the big question. Because on the one hand, when we hear these things as men, we wonder, is there something you guys want to be that is not available out there? Career, wife, and mom. What else do you want to be? You want to be a goddess? Or like, what can you be? What else can you be? It's a big question I'm asking. But I want to hear you.
Sentiment that she is trying to describe is being like, oh my God, when I die, I will have wasted my entire life belonging to other people. I would have never been my own person. Because I got with him so young, I robbed myself the chance of becoming my own person, of being my own person. She is actually mourning is her individual.
I don't understand this. Mourning what? What is she mourning? So she lost herself because she made a choice to marry a man she was in a relationship with. It doesn't make sense to me. If you know you will lose yourself in a marriage, please don't marry. Stop dating people. Find an AI robot or whatever it is you can. Because if we keep hearing this, nobody's robbing you of your identity because they married you. It doesn't make sense.
Duality and her sense of self. A very uncomfortable conversation a lot of you are not willing to have, and you're also not willing to even try and attempt to have a conversation from a place of grace, because every video I've seen talking about it has been people like looking down on her and talking to her crazy and being like, your husband doesn't cheat on you, your husband doesn't beat on you, I can't believe that you're being so ungrateful. Like, I'm sorry if some people are just a little bit more ambitious and they don't think that the top of the mountain, the top of the hill is being somebody's wife, is being somebody's mother. And it's possible with Aisha, especially because she met him so young, that she thought that it'd be enough, that she thought that she'd get there and she would feel fulfilled and she would love her life, and instead she feels miserable. She feels like she's not a person anymore. And again, as we push towards conservatism, as we push towards purity culture, as we have this attitude where everyone looks down on partying, everyone looks down on clubbing, everyone looks down on having casual sex, on hooking up, on women being able to define their relationships on their terms, right? On this idea that a 22-year-old should be out getting drunk, should be out partying, should be out having life experiences and making poor choices and then trying to clean up her mess afterward, right? Instead, people are expected to be perfect, right? To wake up at 21 years old, a full-grown adult, and be ready for marriage, be ready to settle down,
There's a reason I chose this video, simply because she took her time to articulate the nonsense. Everything Steph Curry's wife couldn't articulate. That is why I'm reacting to this, because there's no other explanation that makes sense other than this nonsense, if that makes sense. But I'll tell you something. If at 21, you don't know what a marriage is, what are you doing in a marriage? Nobody forced anybody into a marriage. Like, we need to start having honest conversations. Like, what else can you do outside of saying, no, I'm not ready. I want to be a hoe. I want to be in the streets. That man will leave you alone. That man will leave you alone. Then if he insists, then it's on him. But if you're insisting, I love you so much, without you, I wouldn't do blah, 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 blah. And then he proceeds to taking your words seriously. You want to be with me? You want to do life with me? Okay, let's do it. And then you wake up 10 years later, 12 years later. You're trying to blame me for stealing your youth. That's evil. That is evil.
With the boyfriend that you've been with since high school. And you are robbing yourself of real life experiences. You are robbing yourself of the opportunity to get to know yourself, to figure out who you are, to figure out your likes and your dislikes, and then make a long-term plan about how you want to spend the rest of your life. I make the argument all the time. A fucking 23-year-old should not be getting married. You're much too young. At 23, you making a permanent choice about what you are going to do for the minimum, the next 30 years of your life is insane. The marriage is one thing because you could always get divorced, but when you add the children to the mix, like, do you know how hard it is to leave a marriage when you have children, especially when there is really nothing wrong with your marriage, right? Like, again, your husband doesn't cheat on you.
So what I'm getting is that she's saying that children are now synonymous with 21 to 23-year-olds. So as long as you're a woman, if you're in your early 20s, you're not fit to make decisions for yourself when it comes to marriage. And that is what a grown woman, I'm looking at her, she looks like she's in her 30s, late 30s or something. That is what an older woman is telling the younger women, that you should party and make no serious life choices when you're in your 20s, simply because you will wake up in your 40s and be like, no, I made a mistake. And that's supposed to be a man's fault. You see, if we keep infantilizing women, the end goal of it would be that that's what there would be, children. I wouldn't be surprised that it's coming from an older woman. I don't know what she does, but I can estimate that she is single and miserable. Yeah, I said it. Because if women like her cannot bolden up and use their own voices to tell younger women that, hey, you're not a child. There's an expectation to behave like a responsible adult, and you need to contribute to your society, to your family, to yourself responsibly, and you're just allowing them to make excuses. Anyway, the video is very long. I'll play quite a few more clips and I'll change it, because today my goal is to react to all the content I'm able to find online about Steph Curry.
Doesn't beat on you, so like you just want to leave simply because you're unhappy, because you're like, you know what, this is not what I thought it would be, this is not how I want to spend the next 30 years of my life. I like to be able to do other things, and then you have to wonder if your own personal happiness is more important than your children's. You change so much as a person between the ages of 21 and 31, and you should not be allowed to like make permanent life decisions in that moment, because the things that would make you happy at 21, the things that would be so fulfilling for you at 20.
I can't even make sense of what she's saying. Well, thank you so much for teaching us how not to take you seriously. It's not a reflection of a man's deficiency or a society problem. I think at this point it's a cognitive dissonance problem. People, aka women like her, would want to make every excuse about every nonsense, every vice from a young woman, simply because she's not ready, or simply because she feels like she's not ready. There's an expectation of you if you're an adult. And a part of it is when you say you're gonna marry someone and go into a marriage, the onus is on you going into it to go and find out what marriage means. And you don't expect people to teach you how to marry. If you make a choice, you stick to it. That is what makes you an adult. But let's proceed.
I really regret marrying Steven. I never wanted children, and he doesn't understand me at all. I have my own dreams. I want to pursue my career. I want to live my own life, but everything is suffocated by his lifestyle and expectations. Now I've become a mother. I've become Steven's wife, and the part of me that wanted freedom, that wanted to explore the world, has been completely buried. When I say I'm tired, he doesn't understand. He always frowns and says, "You're too sensitive," or "Don't you think life is good right now?" He's busy with games and various public events, while I'm at home handling the kids and taking care of the household. Many times I feel no support at all. Sometimes he gets impatient when I pursue new projects or start a new brand, and then complains, asking when I can just stay at home. It's kind of ridiculous. I understand that he loves family, but that doesn't mean I have to be trapped at home. Pursuing my career doesn't mean I love my children or him any less. I just want to live my own life. I just want him to give me advice, not lectures.
Blah, blah, blah. The worst thing that can happen to a man is to marry his enemy. And when I mean enemy, I don't mean a literal one. Your enemy is someone who competes with you instead of collaborating with you. This guy is obviously super talented. He's very successful. Seems like he's got a good head on his shoulder. The fact that he's able to tell you, offer to you to stay at home and take care of the kids is because he's being benevolent. He cares about you so much that he doesn't want you to struggle, nor the kids struggle. He wants to take on that mantle, to take on the challenges of protecting and providing for the home. But guess what? You've enjoyed it to a point that you feel like you can compete with him. There's no other bigger stab in the back like that. If I were this dude, guess what? I wouldn't say shit. Giddy up. Good luck. Bye. Nothing. No explanation. No feedback. No closure. No nothing. Just lawyers and paperwork. And when you wake up tomorrow for any type of thing, oh, it doesn't mean I don't love my kids less, love my, I don't care about you. It wouldn't count, because now you're my competitor. Now you're someone I have to be careful of. Now you're someone I have to watch out for, not talk to. It's someone I have to observe like a hawk, because the person I married is not the person telling me today on screen that it doesn't mean I love you any less. Who are you deceiving? You're not deceiving anybody.
And every time I see clips of her or her going viral, she's sitting up there moaning and groaning about how unhappy she is and how she thought she was going to be a career woman and how she never wanted to have kids and how she always thought she was going to be successful. I remember she probably did some background work on Nickelodeon when she was a teenager. You know, she's the lighter girl with the light eyes, so she probably has this, you know how some of them have a complex. Don't crucify me in the comments. But it's like, girl, you have a dream life. I personally feel like if she's not already cheating, she's going to cheat on that man. And she gives me the vibes of one of those mothers that leaves her children and the kids grow up and say, my mother walked out on us when we was whoop-de-whoop years old. Because I really don't think that she loves her life. I don't think she likes it. I feel like she's resentful of Steph because he's more successful than her.
Absolutely.
That's what it all boils down to. She's jealous of Stephon Curry. And she's jealous of his success.
Beating with him.
She's the type like sleeping with your enemy type. But we gotta keep it real. The reason why she's successfully in a marriage with him is because he clearly is the golden retriever and she's the black cat. And clearly he loves her more than she loves him. Yeah. So that's what's keeping him around.
Yeah.
But she just seems like it's insufferable. Like that lady is miserable as all outdoors. And that is a testament to money not being able to buy you happiness.
And this is the part where I want people to pay attention. You see, right? The idea of having a wife in the modern times is not like, it's no longer tied to old expectations. Today's wife is someone who understands that it's me and you versus the world. It's no longer, you can do your thing, I can do my thing, I've got the structure. We can wake up 30 years later, celebrate and be like, oh, we've been doing well. No, every day is an opportunity for us to prove that we actually know what we're doing, right? And one thing I'm getting from this is this. If you pay attention, a lot of women are happy to jump into that bandwagon with Steph. Look at her. She's more beautiful than the wife. To her, the wife, she believes she's all that, to a point where she can compete with him. Make una tell me, if this girl shows up one day and Steph has an inkling of likeness towards her, she's gonna hop into it. She will. I hope she does. She looks beautiful. This is the part where a lot of women don't understand. If you take yourself out of the ship, don't complain that the ship couldn't contain you, because you, by yourself, took yourself out of that ship. But let's let her finish.
You can't find it within anyone else. And a lot of women, they get married when they do the things that society says that we're supposed to do, but it does not guarantee that you're going to be happy. It doesn't guarantee that you're going to enjoy your life. And for some odd reason, because of the patriarchy, they feel like women are not put here to enjoy their life. We're not supposed to enjoy this journey. We're just supposed to be in complete servitude of men and giving our wombs up for men. And first of all, I think babies are a blessing, but y'all know me. If you ever watch me on the YouTube, I always say a woman should only have a baby if she actually wants to be a mother, to never ever do it for a man, because then you resent the children. And then sometimes things don't work out. You get a divorce, you and your husband might grow apart, he might pass away, anything can happen. And women are always usually the primary caregiver of the children. So do with that what you will. But Aisha, she is not happy. And she keep embarrassing her goddamn. You know what? Aisha and Cam Newton is the same person in a different form. Yes. Spread love is Brooklyn way.
Well, I like her content. I like her, I like her perspective. But on the other hand, what I would add to that is simple, right? If you get to a point as a woman that you suddenly resent your husband, the most noble thing to do is to communicate it and sever ties with them instead of going on podcasts and then bashing them. It will backfire. It's already backfiring. But from a different perspective, I intend to close this clip up on this stage at this point. You see, in closing, I must not marry my enemy. I must not compete with my partner. Once I get to that point, competition of resentment, I leave. God help me. Once I get to that point, I leave. Because at the end of the day, nobody is compulsory. This is the evidence that supports men to prioritize themselves, curb the way you express affection towards someone. If you're an NBA superstar and you place this woman above every pedestal ever in your life, look at it backfire. Look at the shame. Look at the public disgrace. It's embarrassing, to say the least. However, the take home is simple. Protect yourself. Prioritize what should be prioritized as a man, as a professional. And until next time, I'll catch you again. Ciao.
You don't know say it a man, it check me pockets, man. Real dollar man says it's a hot $1, a $200. Big like the motherfucking $1,000 blazing hot, man. I straight to tell them, spend the money, man. When you mark the man.